Alright, so everyone make sure that you have this. Calvin, have you started?
Yeah, raise your hand if you don't have one of these.
Yeah, Jake will get you one of these. No matter who you are, even if you're already on a team, select one and then make sure your email and full name is on it and submit it at the end of the presentation. Today we're lucky enough to have 5 different nonprofits come in and share with us their project ideas. So basically they're going to explain a little bit as to who they are, who they're helping, and then from there you can decide whether or not you want to build an app for them. Indicate your first and second choice, and then we'll try to get you on the team of your first choice, if possible. We have our format today is going to be 5 minutes of them talking about their background and then 5 minutes of question and answer. So without further ado, Annie's going to start with the choirs.
Hi, so I'm Annie. You guys probably know me from the education aspect of this club. So, Friends of the Trumbull High School Choirs is an organization that I was a part of when I was in high school for 4 years. We already have a contact, Matt Chase, who would have loved to have been here, but was unable to travel here since it is the middle of the week. Anyway, so the Trumbull High School Choirs is what the Friends of the Trumbull High School Choir does is they are in charge of kind of the fundraising efforts for the choirs, because if you guys know anything about most music programs in high schools, they don't get too much funding because nobody tests the standard or has standardized testing for music. It's the math and reading, writing. So what this organization tries to do is promote music appreciation, teamwork, education in general, and enabling this to happen. From my experiences, the choirs are a place where you not just learn about music, but you learn about determination, persistence, discipline, and you get to experience new culture. So who we are is 150 plus high school students. It's 5 different choral groups. So there's the big group that the juniors, sophomores, and seniors are in. There's a freshman choir. There's the chamber singers, and then the men and women's ensemble. Then we also have our pop side board, which is who I'm here representing. And they're in charge of trying to increase publicity and get us places. And something you probably don't think about so much is most of the money goes towards paying for more logistical things, like making sure the pianos are tuned, that we have accompanists, and like even fixing our risers so we have some place to stand. So just a quick sample of our performances. We'll do United Nations Day every year, Veterans Day, the Retired Teachers Association, Relay for Life, which you guys probably know. We've performed at some pretty cool places too, but most of the time we're performing at smaller charity events. So what I'm thinking for an app is kind of like the ultimate choir handbook. The Trumbull High School District has started the Bring Your Own Device initiative, where students are sort of expected to bring some sort of tablet or mobile phone in order to use it in the classroom for educational purposes. And as I've said, money is tight in music, so this is a really good opportunity to bring music up to speed with where everything else is. So I know our choir focuses a lot on the students not just being able to sing, but understand how they're singing, being able to sight read, and that's through learning music theory. So this could include tutorials on music theory, practice quizzes, etc., and even like things that you should know as a choir member that are pretty standard, like as I mentioned, the pre-concert checklist, or even Like, we have the usual fundraisers, like how to sign up for those, and I'm sure you guys would have other ideas as well. So then, quickly, the contact we have is Mac Chase. He's a member of the board. He's incredibly excited about this. He was talking about QR codes too. I guess the thing where you take a picture with the phone, we could see about that. So there's an email address, website, and a Facebook page. Oh, something I should also mention is I am the person, even though I'm 2 years graduated from high school, who's in charge of the Facebook page, and I'm also kind of the overhead person for the website. So I can help out a lot with where this is going. It's cool that I'm in school. What do we have for questions?
Alright, what would you say is like the need for the number one need for the nonprofit, for your organization?
The number one need is an educational tool that's not the, okay, I didn't mention Miss T, but Miss T is the one who runs the entire thing, and she's wonderful, and how she does it still is she writes out by hand all the music assignments and practice exercises and lessons, and photocopies it and hands it out. So if we could provide something that's a little more streamlined via app, that would be wonderful. Yes.
So it would be primarily used by the students, not the teachers?
I think so. If you guys have ideas for who else it would be, we could think about it, but yes.
Would this be like, is it like the same kind of worksheets every time around, so just be programmed with the app, or would you have to be able to like, submit new material?
I think it's pretty much the same material every time around. Like, there's many units and it builds on each other, but as developers, we would be able to have access to all of it and then just kind of hands it all over to them, all done. We could communicate and figure out what they need or what we need and what you guys can do. So
How does the experience of being a part of this choir, how did it shape maybe your life, and how does it shape the lives of the people who are involved?
Well, the thing with the choirs is I'm a very musical person. I play flute and also piano, and I wasn't thinking that I would ever be part of a choir, but through this choir's organization, we learned, like, it wasn't just about we're going to perform the music to win, like that's what our marching band does. It was more we're performing to learn and to experience different cultures. It actually reminds me of my grandfather's musical philosophy a lot, which is why I'm really passionate about it still, even though I'm 2 years graduated. My sister's still in the choirs, and she'll tell you that what we I don't know. It's just one. I don't know. It was my favorite part of high school, and I mean, it's music, and it's not just what my grandfather would say. Is I'm not making musicians. I'm making people who are determined, motivated, know how to get things done the right way, and go off and be your doctors and lawyers and engineers and nurses and whatever else you would want to do, but keep the music close to your heart.
So I think next we have FeelGood, and they are a BU club. So so we have Jackie, and also Logan. Are you?
No.
Sounds good. All right.
Hi, my name is Jackie Waller, and I'm the president of FeelGood Boston University Chapter. Do you want me to just what you were saying? Yeah, I can do this. So FeelGood World is we're just a chapter of FeelGood World. And FeelGood World is across 25 college campuses. across the nation, and basically we raise money to end world hunger by selling grilled cheese. And there are two partner organizations, which is Choice Humanitarian and the Hunger Project. They both basically do the same thing. And yeah. So Choice Humanitarian is the BU Chapter's partner organization. And they work in 5 countries, which you can see up there. And basically like they go into villages and help people help themselves. So we like, you know, like the teach a man to fish saying, it's one of our favorites. And then the Hunger Project is the other one, but BU is not exactly affiliated, but they go into the same, like different countries and do basically the same thing, empowering people, ending poverty, etc. Alright, so the FeelGood BU Chapter, basically like, we hold weekly delis, like every Thursday. So far we want to do more nights, but we sell grilled cheese sandwiches, we fundraise and talk to people about hunger, educate them, and we partner with other organizations, really trying to create partnerships and host events, and then all of the donations are sent to Choice Humanitarian. So ideas for the app, I don't know, I was thinking it can either be for the chapter or for the entire movement. It would be nice if we could, I don't know, if anybody could use it, like e-board members, general members, people who are interested, people who want to order from us, yeah. And our contact information. So that's my email, and then my co-president Logan's email, and then the FeelGood email. Any questions? Yeah.
You mentioned people who want to order from you.
Yeah, like our customers, maybe they can, you know, use the app to place an order, and we can like start it while they make their way over. That would be nice.
Where does the grilled cheese made?
Oh, so currently we have a deal with BU Dining. So we make it out of Warren late night every Thursday night. We're trying to get away from BU Dining, but yeah, that's where we make it, in the kitchen. Yes.
Could you go back one slide, please? Yeah, so basically, I remember hearing you say something about, oh, you might want to throw another night. What's stopping you from doing another?
Our deals.
You're
BU
right.
Dining. Yeah, you're obviously okay.
Can we actually hear about that? Because that's like something that maybe we'd have to be able to solve. So
Actually, that would be fantastic. So basically, we talked to Gerard. I don't know if you're familiar. He's the guy that runs Warren. Yeah, and they really like the idea. It was really difficult for them to have us do another night. I don't know.
we take away from their profits also at late night.
So it's kind
Do
of.
you provide your own like food making stuff, or do they give you like all the bread?
That's the deal. So they provide the ingredients, and we give them $2 out of every 5. So like every sandwich is $5, and food goes to them for the ingredients. But if we were to break away from them, we would get ingredients from.
Yeah, basically what other chapters do is they do pop-up delis, like on the side of the street on their campus. We just can't do that because Boston's health code is pretty strict. But, so for other campuses, they set up the deli and they get donations from like Panera or Star Markets. And then that's how their menu is determined by what donations they get that week from other partners.
Is that something that you're looking to do?
Yes, it is,
Yes.
except maybe like in the GSU or catering
Yes.
for groups around campus.
We can cater our events in
That could be a serious partnership. I could just send,
We have
oh,
our
after
grills.
party, let's do a late night.
Yeah.
Thursdays,
Actually,
every
wouldn't it?
Thursday, they sell the most amazing grilled cheese sandwiches.
It's like
And they're
halfway
big.
between a panini and a grilled cheese.
Yeah, we'll put
Beans
anything we
and
want.
salsa and
The Feel
apples.
Bueno is amazing. In fact, like, there was also an idea that I had for these guys. It's like,
I'll present to them.
no, you could have sandwich ideas and maybe submit sandwich ideas and things that you ingredients that you want
That would be awesome.
to tap into.
For new
And,
ideas.
yeah, and then
Yeah, the logging volunteer hours also. And also, FeelGood World, since it's a national organization, they are looking to develop an app too. So we could kind of be the prototype, and if they like what you guys come up with for BU, then the national organization might pick it up and you guys can design for
we
them.
talked about it.
Yeah, they're looking for somebody to design one. Because we have a whole like Facebook for all the chapters where you log your hours and your events and your activities and you get prizes and stuff.
do all of the FeelGood World chapters do the same thing? Do they all do grilled cheese things at the local
Yes.
place?
So they all sell grilled cheese sandwiches, but they do it in different ways. We're the only people that actually partners with the dining hall. But the Columbia chapter actually sells them out of the basement of a frat house, and they deliver. So I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a really good cause. They're trying to end world hunger, and all the proceeds go to these other nonprofit organizations. So by helping this organization, you're helping so many other nonprofit organizations at the same time. So, and like they say, it's highly scalable. If this app is well done, then it can go nationwide. Not only can you help the BU chapter of FeelGood, you can also help the nationwide, all the chapters of FeelGood by, having some sort of fantastic application that really, engages the customers and helps the organization run more smoothly. So, any other questions? All right.
This is what happens for that. Is anybody smart and knows how to get from? Yeah. Yes, I did.
They wanted to sort of no, this seems like it's true.
All right. Now Jeremy is here from, on behalf of the Boston University. Is it the psychology department?
The School of Social Work.
So the School of Social Work, and he's here to talk about the problem of hoarding, and they want to build an application that solves that problem. And
Yeah, sure. So like you said, my name is Jeremy. I'm not Jordana. I'm here on behalf of Jordana and the other people at the Hoarding Research Project at the BU School of Social Work. You can go on to the next slide if you want. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen the television show Hoarders Buried Alive, or just hoarding in general on TLC and A&E. It's a pretty popular show. It's got a pretty great shock value for reality television. But just to give you guys a little bit of background on what hoarding disorder actually is, it's officially been validated in the DSM as its own disorder, and that's sort of the clinical Bible for mental illness and psychiatric disorders, which is really great because that means it has all these benefits for people that need insurance for treatment. But essentially what a hoarding disorder is, it's difficulty discarding items that you and I might deem not having value or just simply ordinary. And as a result of saving those items, you get this accumulation that causes clutter and congestion in the home that keeps you from using your home in ways that you would prefer to use things in your home, such as a bed or a stove. And it's really becoming a huge issue in the greater population. If you go to the next slide, I think. Well, these are just some pictures with some issues that come along with hoarding. You have mobility hazards. If you're an elderly person or a child getting around and you have these piles of things that you refuse to get rid of, it can cause serious occupational impairment. You go to the next one. Blocked exits, lack of sanitation, fire hazard. People are actually dying because of these hoarding problems, because if you have an entire house floor to ceiling full of newspapers and one catches on fire, we all know how fire works. Go on to the next one. So essentially 2 to 5% of the entire US population meets diagnostic characteristics for hoarding disorder, which is a lot of people and a lot more than they really make it seem on the television show. So I think that's pretty shocking. Well, there's a lot of slides on this, so you can click through the next 2 or 3. But essentially, this is perfect. What the application we're trying to do is really fill in the gaps between the people who are coming to seek treatment and the providers who are trying to help them out. So what's unique about hoarding disorder is it's not just a clinician or a therapist coming into the home and trying to help them sort through their belongings, but it's also people like the Metropolitan Boston Housing Partnership, people who have to come in and enforce inspection codes and things like that. So it's a really holistic group of people and a web of providers who usually don't speak the same language. Somebody that works for the Environmental Protection Agency might not be asking the same kinds of mental health questions that a clinician is coming in and doing. So this gives you a picture of, a picture of the really multidisciplinary group of people who are having what we've already started doing and what I dedicated my summer to this summer is developing a mobile phone application. Because what we were finding was that the efficacy rates of cognitive behavioral therapy, traditional means of modifying human behavior and perception, aren't working as quickly or as strongly on people with hoarding disorder as it might for people with obsessive compulsive disorder. So what the mobile phone application would do, because hoarding is an in-home problem, would help the providers increase their communication and better the efficacy of treatment by making something the hoarders themselves can access in their pockets, providing them emotional support, decreasing the shame of having to go into a therapist's office. There's a huge stigma in our population against people with mental health. You can go on to the next slide. And the next one, there's a lot here. So these are the essential purposes of what we dream for this mobile phone application, or on tablets. Is to have access to assessments, universal assessments that a clinician would use, that somebody that works in the Environmental Protection Agency would use, the Housing Agency would use, and have access to, so that we're all asking the same kinds of questions and the means of communication can really open up. Because that's sort of the biggest issue. If you're an EMT first responder and you walk into a home and you can't fit a stretcher through the door because the hoarding piles are so large, they probably don't know who to call in the mental health community to get the help and support that those hoarding sufferers really need. Go to the next slide. Go to the next one. So I started developing a little bit of this summer, and I have no idea how to make a mobile phone application of this. So this was essentially built via PowerPoint, conceptualizing the different things that would go into the mobile phone application. You can go to the next one and the next one. So one thing we would like to do, just to give you guys a little bit of taste of what we've been exploring, is a potential GPS function that links people to support systems in their general community. So they would use the position of the hoarder themselves with access to people who can help them with the fire hazards in their home, people who can help them with the mental health aspects of hoarding disorder. Go to the next one. And the next one. Next one. So some basic assessments where you can just go through and check things off really quickly so that you can interact with the individual while you're in their home and go through an assessment that gets filed. Something that could be confidential with security access to trusted individuals. On the next one. And we want to have some, what you see up top is called the clutter image rating. It's a diagnostic tool used to compare amounts of clutter in people's homes that's been developed specifically for hoarding. So one thing we would like to do is be able to upload our own photos that we take in the home and compare on a tablet or a smartphone so that somebody who might not be as well versed in some of the clinical applications of hoarding to really just give us a number, 1 to 10, how severe things are in the home. Simple things like that that would really get people speaking the same language so that we can get these people as much help as possible, because what's going on right now isn't really working for them. Next one. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any questions, you can go to the next one. Dr. Giordano Muroff is really who you should contact about this. I work for the Hoarding Research Project, but she's sort of the spearhead for all of this.
If we contact her, since she is she like your PI, or
yeah.
Is she actually going to get back to us?
Yeah, she is. Giordano's really great.
No, she's very responsive. She actually wanted to do this March of last year, but it was just an awkward time for our group to take on her project because it was almost the end of the school year. So yeah, this time I think she's a really good customer for us to have as a client to work with, and I think that you would gain a lot of knowledge by working with someone who is already so set and passionate about this idea.
She's published a lot of research about the usefulness of technology-based treatment for psychological disorders. She just received a grant to do this same thing with substance abuse. There have already been apps established for post-traumatic stress disorder. In working with this, you would be really entering a field of technology that's established and growing. Like I said, hoarding disorder was just sort of validated in May, so there's really a boom of research that's going on right now, especially with technology. And I spent my whole summer conducting focus groups with human service personnel that treat hoarding, asking about the usefulness of a product like this, and the average was 4.2 out of 5, 5 being really, really useful, 1 being 0. And the average report of all the people we surveyed was 4.2. So people want this, and we need your help to make it happen.
Exactly. And I mean, we're not called Global App Initiative for nothing. This is a global epidemic. And myself, Jane earlier today, she was saying, Beeb, you have way too much stuff open on your Mac. Maybe I have a hoarding problem.
The onset of hoarding is 21, so you're excluded.
I just turned 21. So, all right. I think, does anyone have any other question or comment? Maybe they're interested. You want to do something? Say?
As someone just listening to this,
Sure.
it sounds like there's multiple target populations. And so, I mean, are you gearing towards one first and then building from that, or are you trying, because there's first responders, then there's also your staff that you work with?
It's a lot of people. So what we're focusing on primarily with the app at this point is the human service personnel, because there are people within the housing department who are now doing their housing inspections and things on tablets. So it's a really accessible way for the housing department, and people in the mental health field are very interested in technology-based intervention. So it is a lot of people. So it's a big picture thing, but we would really like to get something off the ground to really start pilot testing. So it's a good question.
Just a small question. What's the organization called again?
The Hoarding Research Project that the school support.
So are you looking, it looks like you have a pretty thorough design already. Are you looking for us to do any more design with this, or does this look like you've done testing groups and stuff, and this is the design you want us to just program this for you?
We've done focus groups with this prototype mainly just because this was the easiest way for me physically by hand to build this summer, because I have no experience building applications. So we're not emotionally invested in this design, if that's your question really. Anything that works and is going to give us really what we want and looks nice, we're open to.
Yeah, as long as your client is open and responsive, which I know Jordana and Jeremy, they both are.
Great, seriously.
And yeah, I think that would be a great client to work for, and this problem that they're trying to solve is global, and there's a serious need for it. So I thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys.
Now we can move on to our fourth presentation of the day. Like the welcome fundamental school. Annie. Annie Lou. I remember last. Thank you.
That's the
And she's going to talk about evidence-based medicine. So, I mean, when we build applications as a club, we want to make sure that what we build is meaningful, and the work that you're doing is important because. You come to school and you're gaining all these new skills and knowledge, but when you go out into the real world, you're not really too sure how to apply it. By working on a project like this, you can apply, your app development skills to really build something meaningful that impacts one of these industries, or in this case, medicine. So I'm gonna pass it off to Annie.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me here today. My name is Annie Lou. I'm a graduate student over at the medical campus. And this past summer, what we've been doing is I've been working with a team of physicians from Boston Medical Center and faculty from the School of Medicine on my thesis, where we developed a model for evidence-based medicine. And this model is called FEEF. I'll go into that later, but right now let me explain some background information of what evidence-based medicine is. Thanks. That was a very good transition. Evidence-based medicine is also called EBM, and I took this from the website. It's a quote definition from the Cochrane collaboration. The conscientious, explicit, and judicious use of current best evidence in making decisions about the care of individual patients. The practice of evidence-based medicine means integrating individual clinical expertise with the best available external clinical evidence from systematic research. That was a mouthful. And so it's very thorough, but I'm not sure if it really captures the definition of what this is. And let me explain what is happening in the medical field now. So med students are in school for 4 years, and they may be taught what is the best practice while they're in school. Or they may be taught what their professors at the time thought was best practice while they were in school. And so years elapse and they're in residency, and that might not be the best practice anymore. So EBM helps bridge that gap. And why is it useful? So let me, tonight I'm going to let everyone be physicians. I've granted that degree to everybody, along with your engineering degree. And a patient comes in who's recently diagnosed with confusion. Okay, recently diagnosed with diabetes and traditionally what is prescribed is a glucometer, which is a home testing model. And what that includes is, have some of you guys seen what happened with the glucometer testing? Yes, you prick your finger. So you tell the patient, hey, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be pricking your finger up to 3 times a day. And what you're gonna do is then draw blood, put it onto a test strip, and then the meter measures it. The patient says, gosh, that sounds painful. Is this the best method? So you, as astute physicians, will look this up and use evidence-based medicine and apply it. And that will help you realize that today, the research shows that patients who are non-insulin users, who are diabetic, glucometer testing is not an effective method. And what that does is big things. It saves the cost on the patient, who now doesn't have to buy monthly test strips, these prick thingies called lancets, and it improves, it also reduces the healthcare spending. It improves the quality of care that we as physicians give. It also improves her quality of life. Now she doesn't have to take time out of her schedule to test her blood sugar. This is eliminated because it's not effective for her. And that's what evidence-based medicine does. So it brings patient values and expectations, combines it with individual clinical expertise and best external evidence. And it all brings it together. Okay, so why am I here today? What is the point of this app? Finding Information Framework, BEEF, is the model that we're talking about this summer, and that we worked on this summer. And this is the web version that helps a medical student. So at BU, what's going on is they're saying, hey, you teach us in the classroom for 2 years, and then we're starting rotations our 3rd year. And what happens is, it's nerve-wracking to be in an exam with a patient. Sometimes you forget what these skills that you taught us. So this helps to reinforce the skills that are taught in evidence-based medicine. BU is one of the leading schools teaching EBM, and this helps to bring it all together. There's no app out there like this right now. This is going to be huge in national, but also it's already EBM is already popular in Europe, but there is no app internationally regarding this. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you. We are looking for a coder because I am a biochem major undergrad. I have no experience in this, and we already have the design of what we'd like this to look like, but we need help getting it there. We need help making it an app. Yeah, thank you very much. Do you guys have any questions? Thank you.
So is the audience of the app solely medical students?
Yes, primarily. So what we're looking for is to target 3rd-year med students when they're starting their rotations. So the first 2 years they're doing classroom setting, and we would like to launch it next fall because they're actually already learning this flow chart. So they're going to start using it. There's already a need for it. Yes.
Is there an existing database of all this information that would be shared, or is this like you're making it so that everyone can look up new practices? And
what do you mean existing database?
Like to see if a current medical practice is not going to work for a patient.
So med students have a range of resources to use. So this is probably really small to see, but there's DiaMed, Cochrane, who I actually, oh, nice. Dang, that's great. PubMed, and so these, ideally, we would like this to be links to get them there. And I mean, I can walk you through this if anyone's interested, but we told me I had a 5-minute timeline, so, but I can take questions for 5 minutes. Does anyone else have questions?
So are you just looking for basically this flowchart in app form, or are you looking for like more explicit medical information in this app?
Good question. So we're looking for the ability to go step by step in this process. So it's kind of like a flow chart, but in app form. It's not going to be this picture in an app. We want the first question would be, what type of question do you have, background or foreground? And then they click on it, and that brings them to the next section, and then be able to have definitions of what this means. Because sometimes knowing foreground, the things get a little complicated of what that actually means to a student. Yes?
So do you want it to be like a portal to external resources and websites, or do you want us to have like definitions in the actual app?
Both.
Okay.
So the portals, BU already has access to these. It's just a matter of getting them all together within an interface. That was another hand. Yes?
You said BU already has access to these. Is this a app primarily for BU students, or?
So has access to these websites.
If someone didn't have access to those websites, would that mean they couldn't use the app? They couldn't click the links in the app to get to them?
So right now we're not targeting this nationally or internationally. Most med students all over do have access to this at their own school. But this is going to be exclusive to BU right now because this will be for us first.
And I just want to point out for us, like, I know the way Global App Initiative works is like we usually we do needs analysis, then we do design, and then we do the programming aspect of it. But the timeline of how we work is we actually finish the app by April. So that still does meet your by fall 2014 deadline. And I would say that, I would speak to them further to demonstrate that, if you guys have a brilliant idea as to like a certain feature that they need, that they should add and implement to their design, that you can make that case to them if it really serves as something that is important. So I think this is a really great opportunity to work on something that is very important and there's a high need for it. Evidence-based medicine it sounds very interesting, and I'm sure there are a lot more details that she'll share with you if she becomes your client. I just didn't want to bog anyone with details if this isn't their project. So thank you, Annie. Davis, do you want to present on Let's Get Ready Boston or not? Oh, all right. So Kate is going to present on Let's Get Ready Boston. And I'll take this moment to say, does everyone have this? Yes, right? Alex, Wong, maybe not. All right, you don't. Yeah. Okay, so so far we've had 4 different nonprofits present, and I know some of you are already on a different team, but I'd like for you guys to tell your other friends in those other teams about the YouTube video that we're going to post later for these set of nonprofits, because I think that they're all amazing, and you should anyone can join any of these teams at any point during the year, because I think it's a really great opportunity to share your own unique ideas and to really work on a project that will affect these different industries. Alright, good. We're ready. Let's get ready, Boston.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I'm a co-site director at Let's Get Ready Boston. Kate is my other co-site director. So Let's Get Ready, it's not just a Boston nonprofit. We work all over the East Coast region. So what we do is that we provide and a bunch of other support services so that they can get admission to college. The majority of the students that we work for are minorities. They have very low income. I think 87% of them will be the first to go to college. So yeah, the way that our program works is that essentially it is 30 hours of math and verbal instruction. We include 2 free SAT diagnostic tests. and 15 hours of college choice. So basically, we have 2 sessions a week. One will be our math session, one is our verbal session. So the first 2 hours are the SAT prep, and then the last hour is college preparation, where we go through everything from admissions to the Common App to your personal statement. We also do college visits, which is super helpful because a lot of them don't really have the opportunity to go on their own. Also, many of them don't have friends or family members who do go to college, so they, it's nice to kind of give them that kind of exposure. The classes are taught by college student volunteers, so I've worked with Let's Get Ready Brooklyn and Let's Get Ready Boston, so all of them are volunteers, both from colleges. Some of them are recent graduates of college, but they do not get paid, and they essentially go through a training process, and they teach the students, and kind of the, yeah, so 40% of high school students go on to go to college, and 92% of high school students in the LGR program do go to college. So it's a lot more helpful, and I think it's because of that direct communication that the college and coaches have with their students. This is kind of like more logistical stuff. It's since 1998, more than 18,000 students have been helped by Let's Get Ready. So if you kind of think of like 92% of them went on to go to college, it's pretty big. So essentially, what I believe is like the core part of the LGR program is that we do have a very close communication between our coaches and our students. We follow a near-peer model, so it's not like your typical teacher-student relationship. We text our students, we let them know, you have homework to do, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to fill out. And not only, is that communication important between students and coaches, it's also important between, site directors and program managers and site directors and coaches. There's a whole plethora of paperwork that needs to be taken care of and other things like that. Deadlines they have to meet for different things, things that we should, ask them to help us with sometimes. And sometimes it's kind of difficult for us to kind of convey that knowledge, and it's a lot of stuff. So what an app would definitely help us do is kind of foster that communication between all the parties involved. Maybe have pages that, include homework assignments for students. I can't even tell you when I was a coach how many students came in and said, oh, I didn't do the homework. Why? I didn't know what it was. So then that way they had no reason not to do it. There it is. Also, things like what time coaches have to be places, events, things like that, coordination. It's really a lot of responsibility on our part as site directors to do all these different things, and it's difficult sometimes. And I think that communication is the hardest part, to kind of keep everybody in touch with what's going on. Kind of just also keeping deadlines, things like that, are super important to us. So yeah. Questions? Yeah, questions? Yes.
Do a lot of the students who go to your program have access to smartphones?
Yes.
Would the app be mostly for the students or the faculty members?
I
or
think
mostly both.
I think it could be for both. I think it would be most important because we do the program is aimed towards helping the students. I would most importantly like to focus it on the students, but if we can use it for other purposes for the faculty, that would also be helpful. Yeah.
So are you thinking actual homework assignments on the app, or more telling the student what the assignment is?
Telling the student what the assignment is. We provide them with books, like our own coaching manual and the new SAT book, and we already have a whole range of homework assignments you can give them. They just don't know what they are.
Would you be interested in having those
Yeah, what homework assignments?
No, but we could put that material on the app.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, why not? There's definitely room to put even additional material on, we need quizzes, vocab quizzes. You could put those, stuff like that. Any other questions?
What is also including flashcards through your app?
Yeah, that could also be something else. Definitely. Is there any other questions? Alright, awesome. Well, thank you so much. If you want to contact us, we are letsgetreadybu@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Alright, that concludes our presenting the nonprofits for this day. This is round 2. So tell your friends, and you can join any of these awesome nonprofits and help them in their endeavors to help the world. And alright, so you guys up. Hand in your form if you filled it out. So everyone should write in their first name, last name, email, and first and second choice. The Trumbull High School for choirs, that was the first one. Then we had FeelGood. Then we had before you was Jeremy with the School of
School of Social Work.
School of Social Work.
Try hoarding.
Hoarding. So hoarding, and then we had FIF. Okay, School of Medicine. So that's MED. You can put that. And then finally, in case you forgot, the last one was Let's Get Ready, Boston. All right, I did that on purpose. All right. So now we're good. So now that you know.
Also, there is another teaching module this Saturday starts at 10 a.m. Where is it?
We're in CAS room B12, free pizza. So if you want to learn a little bit about, object-oriented programming, which is how you develop apps in the first place, you need to use object-oriented programming, or whether it's Objective-C for iOS or Java for Android. This is an introductory, tutorial, an introductory lecture to that sort of programming approach. And
Yeah. So like, if we bring our own laptops, do you have to
Yes.
install them beforehand?
So bring your own laptops first of all. Saturday, 10 a.m. B20 CAS or B12 CAS B12. Free pizza. Bring your own laptops. You need to have Xcode installed. If you have a PC, you can sit next to somebody who has a Mac, or there's something.
We have a screen sharing tool called Join.me. Basically, anytime we do any sort of lecture where the screen is really important, we have a link that you can go to follow along. So no matter what, bring your laptop. Yeah, it's just a hyperlink.
So if you have a Mac, download Xcode. If you don't have a Mac, you'll just screen share.
Yep. And bring your friends and eat some pizza and have a good time. All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.